on board the Penfolds Audi safety car. We should point out too that it's a very strong German contingent running the Audi operation here, but they have had some Australian influence and or local influence, I should say. Paul Sepranich, who's had a lot of experience in V8 supercar and a lot of experience with international teams, he's been here as kind of their manager on the ground, coordinating things, getting that operation ship-shape when it arrived in Australia, and it's worked. Boy, it's been a tremendous performance. They've arrived here and been so dominant from the moment they've rolled out of the transporter. Underway and racing once again as you rode with the safety car. Restart here now. And the Leicester Ferrari will lead them. It's been a titanic battle up in front. It's the Audis that are leading the way for now. Here's the Mark Eddy, Warren Luff, Craig Lowndes entry. To the right of your screen, that's the leaders in the production car class at the moment. The Mark Brain, Peter Conroy entry, a car that they share with Anthony Robson, and they've come back with that car much stronger in 2011. They're working, in fact, with Jeff Forshaw, who was a good production car racer in his own right and has worked for Neil Bates Motorsport for many years, and he's worked on helping to tune that car, helping to iron out some of the issues, and they are so pleased with it.
Certainly are. As we see now, the German Audi, or the black Audi car 8 up the inside of some of this lap traffic, trying to get back in touch with the 7 car, because 7 cars at the front of the field, it's in clean air, it's got no traffic to worry about, it's charging away. So although we talk about a 12-hour race, having plenty of time for strategy and things to play out, track position is still king, doesn't matter how long the race is. Awesome looking car, quite a stealth machine. It doesn't have the same top speed going up or down the mountain as we would experience in a V8 supercar, but in the order of about 2 seconds quicker, that Audi across the top, just dynamite. It's an amazing car across the top of the mountain, as all these GT3 cars are. The Porsche on screen, the VIP car, has a huge amount of downforce, much more downforce than the Cup S car we've seen here in Australia in the past, so that's why we can see it going with this Audi at the moment. And Berto back in behind the wheel, he'll be trying to get that lap back now, so this is a real opportunity, very key part of the race for the key players. He's good like that, Craig, in these sorts of situations. The moment that helmet goes on, our Formula One co-commentator loses that easygoing nature, and he's chasing hard here. 480 brake horsepower, 353 kilowatts, that magic sounding 6-cylinder boxer engine, 4-litre power plant. And look at the attitude of the car as it came into the chase. He's really on it and closing the gap. Yeah, certainly Craig's identified this as a key opportunity for them to get back in this race and part of the outright contention on the lead lap. So ideally what the VIP car needs is get in front of the lead Audi and then a safety car to come out straight away. That way you get your whole lap back free of charge. So very, very much a key part of the race. And Berto pushing on, you can see the attitude in the car. For Tony and Clark, we should actually give them some credit as well. They may not be professional racers like, say, a Warren Luff or a Craig Lowndes or a Craig Baird for that matter. He's taken the lap back, so well done to Craig Baird. But when you look at the difference in lap times relative to Craig, it's not all that much, but over the course of an hour or a decent driver stint, it does add up. It does add up, and that's what 12-hour racing, endurance racing is all about. We see the Audi there, just runs a little wide, drops 2 wheels in the dirt, and that's all it took. We knew Baird was on a charge and he was going to take any opportunity that came his way. So dramas here for the Barton Moore, Greg Crick, David Wall entry. David will be competing, we should say, stepping up into the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series for 2011, having won the Australian GT Championship the last 2 years on the trot. And I think that's Greg Crick at the wheel by the looks of it. And we said earlier in our coverage he was a little disappointed, Greg Crick. He's very good in these kind of races, but this, unbelievably, despite all sorts of machines that he's raced over the years, this is the first time he's ever competed in a Porsche. And most of the time he spends driving in a Viper, so you couldn't get much different from a V10 front-engine Viper into a rear-engine Porsche Cup car. So this team continued to duel just as they did in qualifying. There wasn't much in it. 3/10 separated them on that new qualifying format, an aggregate system where they add the 3 fastest laps for each driver entered per car to determine or to sort out the grid. So the internationals really, considering they haven't had a lot of experience at Bathurst, have done a pretty good job. What a shame. This is for Production Performance Class E, the 27 entry. Alan Shepherd, Garth Duffy and Paul Stubber. Paul, as you know, Garth has a lot of experience, particularly in historic touring cars, and has some nice machinery in the shed. Very, very fast Camaro back at home in Perth, as we see here a replay. And it looked like contact there from one of the faster class cars has taken out one of the slower class cars.
So safety car, the Penfold Audi, is back on circuit again. These guys are really playing the game, aren't they, in terms of maximising or using these safety car situations?
Well, they got lots of pit stops to make. Those outright 2010 spec GT3 cars got to make 12 pit stops over the course of these 12 hours. So anytime a safety car comes out and it's not within a 10-lap window of the previous pit stop, they're going to be in and taking that opportunity.
Fans continuing to enjoy the sunshine at the mountain. The long-range forecast suggests a heavy thunderstorm before this race is over. Here's an update for you, and we should say on the Altenzo GT3 outright class board, Young, Baseng and Mies are back up the top there. Beric Linton continues to lead the way in Class C. There's the Armour All board for you, the outright positions. Craig Baird is chasing hard, keeping right in the game. As we take a break, and we'll have more from the 12 hour on the other side of this. Nice to have you with us here in Australia on One, or wherever you may be tuning in right around the world. This is the Armour All Bathurst 12 hour. You're looking at the leader in Class B in this endurance race. These guys have been ultra consistent, Garth Tander, from the very outset. The Falcon Property Group, Roger Largo, Matt Kingsley and David Russell. We have a look at another of the cars in this class, and we talked before about Miro Konupka from Slovakia, a 7-time winner in circuit racing terms in that country. We've got viewers from Slovakia tuning in as well.
Good to see you've been doing your research on the Slovakian racing championships over there.
In fact, drove with Karl Reindler in a Porsche in 2008. Best result in the FIA GT is third in class at Zhuhai in 2004. You can see from the onboard there as they continue to work, an ice box on the right hand side, just in the passenger section of the car there. That'll be another feature, particularly after all the hot weather we've had here in the lead up this week. A little cooler on race day, but it's still hard work for the competitors.
That cool box, Rusty, is for the cool suit, which we see quite commonly nowadays in V8 supercar racing. But with these 90-second pit stops, the teams have obviously decided that it's not such a big deal to get the tubes connected and disconnected during part of the driver changes.
So we watch, well, the focal point being the Audi, the Australian team. In the background there, you saw the lead car in the production class. Mark Braham, a guy who was brilliant in production cars and has been over the years. Great to see him back behind the wheel. Peter Conroy, of course, and Anthony Robson. In fact, Mark Braham's daughter actually did a drawing of the car in the early hours of yesterday, and they've put it on the back of the seat as a bit of a good luck charm. Dramas here. Let's go to Grant.
Yeah, not a good look about car 12 being pushed into the garage at the moment. Biore, and you've got Reynolds and Mark Sini in this car. We've got a driver change going. It looks like Dean Fiore stepping in. Mark Sini standing here with us now. We'll try and grab him. Mark, car pushed back in the garage. What's the story?
I think from the accident we had earlier, the brake pedal is now very spongy. You're taking sort of three or four pumps to get it on, and gear selection's getting difficult.
Well, that wouldn't be nice across the top of the mountain, Garth.
No, certainly brake pedal going to the floor is not uncommon in endurance races, but not at this stage of the event. So the team's obviously identified they need to get under the hood and get underneath the car and have a look at that brake issue. And then the gear selection thing, the Porsches have a cable gear selector that goes to the rear transaxle. So whether or not some heat may be starting to get into that cable and starting to restrict the gear selection.
And that is a Lotus Exige S pointing the wrong way. That looks like it's at the top of Mountain Straight, Griffin's Bend. Adam Gowans, the very successful Aussie racing car driver, one of the trio entered in this car, and I think they're just trying to roll it out of harm's way, some sort of issue. Let's have a look here. Oh boy, big lock-up and crunches the wall there.
Very, very lucky not to make heavy contact with that Porsche also as it tried to turn into the end of Mountain Straight. And we saw there the Lotus going the wrong way down Mountain Straight, but trying to get into that little gate and getting out of harm's way. As we see now, car 66, and we'll have a look to see if there was any contact on the rear of that car.